Okay, so serious, sir. Okay, I'll be serious from this point forward. I'll sound very professorial. Would everybody like it if I sounded professorial? Or can I go back to being me? Okay, I'll go back to being me. Okay, we'll be friends later, I promise. Okay, I'll buy you a Coke from America. This is another example, another man that used the radio and he quadrupled his exposure in business. And there's another man. Who's afraid of this man? He's scary looking. He's 6'5". He's a good friend of mine. And he's Pakistani. His name is Dave Lakhani. He grew up in America and Pakistan. He speaks fluent Urdu, your language of love. He's an Urdu man, but he is the biggest Pakistani man I've ever met because he ate hamburgers in America. And he will be coming and speaking here in a short time. He's an interesting guy. Just remember his name, Dave Lakhani, and he'll be coming because he's twice the size of me and big and lumbering. And he was a former Green Beret in the United States. You can also do something cool. If you go out on a job interview, think of this. If someone has been on the radio, or on a podcast, again, we're going to go into a little bit of podcasting and the value of this. If you took one of your podcasts and interviewed somebody noteworthy, slapped their image on a CD with you, you've just created a product. And that's a business card. It is a business card you hand out if you need to go out on a job interview and they say, okay, Mohammed, safe name here. Mohammed, what have you done? I just interviewed somebody else and he has similar grades to you. He was in a club and he completed his studies in 4 years. What have you done that has been separate, unique, and different? Well, I've been a featured expert on a podcast in my university, and I'd like to give you and present you a copy of it. It's 12 minutes of content discussing the archaeological findings in Lebanon. It doesn't matter what topic it's on. It may be better if it's appropriate to whatever you're going after. I mean, this is a design school for the most part, yes? So if you went and had an interview, one of the most famous designers in Karachi, if you went and interviewed this person, which is an easy technique, even if you go and with an electric recorder, go up to this person and say, I would love to interview, I'm a student, at a local college, and I want to interview you, sir or ma'am. Most of the time they're going to say yes. Why? Because you're feeding their ego, and we're going to feature this on our university, and we'll give you celebrity status, sir or ma'am. Easy to do that. Who thinks that's a good idea? Don't all raise your hands at once. Okay, fine. Be difficult. These are good techniques. I guarantee you it'll work. Anybody that podcasts. So what is podcasting? For those of you that didn't raise your hand and don't know about it. Okay? Instead of having a scheduled time for a radio show, you get to choose, the listener gets to choose the time to listen to what you have to say. Because some people like to listen to content, others like to see content. It's just how we learn. Some people can watch a presentation and get it completely. Others need to have an auditory review and like to record. So why not capture that group of people that learn auditorily? That's the beauty of podcasting. Why podcast? People connect with your voice. Some people resonate. Have you ever known someone that says, I just love her voice. I just love his voice. Anybody willing to admit that? Singers, right? Do you have music here? Yes? Do you ever love a singer's voice? Yes? Okay, so you resonate, so you understand. Nodding's good. Thank you. And you get to narrowly deliver this. So what I mean, if you're on a topic of textiles, and if you wanted to speak, here's an example that anybody can use to start a podcast today. We're in a design school here. There are millions of Pakistanis living in America and the UK. And I'd be willing to bet most of you have family living in those two countries. Is that a fair assessment? Do I get a couple head nods here? Come on. Thank you. Thank you. We do have a few of those. Guess where their hearts are? Here. Here. They want to know what's going on. How many people Skype with them or call them or text them? A lot of you guys do. Because they would rather be here with their families. Think of all the Pakistanis in those two countries. Are you leaving me? Okay. How many Pakistanis are in those two countries that would love to learn about textiles from their home country? You guys are huge when it comes to textiles throughout the world. I'm giving you a complete business model here to follow. Who likes this idea? You start podcasting about the textile improvements, updates, latest trends in Pakistan, you're going to have a following not only with textile followers that are Native Americans and native to the UK, you're going to get all the Pakistani expats that are over in those two countries. I would be willing to even fund that type of business because I know it would work. Because people miss their home country. There is money to be made on the expats. And you start out slow, and then you start charging them. You make money. And it creates loyalty of following. Anybody opposed to making money here? Anybody? Think everything should be done for free? One brave man in the back of the room, I can't even see him. Now this is where you make money. So let's use this example. Perfect example of communicating to expats in the UK and America. Two large countries, 312 million people and 60 million people in the UK. Lots of Pakistanis there. Even Indians. I don't mean to swear at you, but in India, they're into textiles as well. They speak a close language, right? Hindi is close to Urdu, pretty much. They can understand and you can understand them. Hello, that's even a bigger population. Reach out to them with this business of discussing latest trends and techniques and textiles from your two countries. Can't you call somebody over in India, they're just across the border like a stone's throw away, and get some information? Create this business communicating about this. There are all sorts of slivers of potential businesses that you can do via podcasting. And then there's something that you can do when it gets lifted. It's called YouTube. YouTube. Who loves video marketing? Anybody like making videos? Okay. Is there anyone that knows how to get around this current ban? You can talk to me later. But I see a couple smiling faces because there are sharp minds in this room. You, sir, with the glasses, I know you know, don't you? How to get around and use a unique IP that even the government can't find. Ooh, I don't want to get taken away in a padded car. But, okay, write a book or get published. Let me tell you what happened after I wrote my first book. This was my book called The Silent Salesman. It was translated into German from English first. It was a bestseller in the United States. And it opened multiple doors for me. Multiple doors. It was book number 2. First one I self-published. This one got published by John Wiley & Sons, which is the biggest business book publisher in the world. And it was about my successes with direct mail and different direct marketing techniques throughout my career. And that's why I say everybody should write a book, because the perception changes when you have something to show. When you see a general in the Army here, you have generals, right? In the Air Force and all this. Big bars, fancy. Guess what? Instant respect. Whether you're into the military or not, salute him, sir. When you have a book, saluting goes on up here. Up here. Instant respect when someone has published. When a professor has written a textbook, impressive, yes, Mr. Vice Chancellor, versus someone who hasn't published a book. If they've written a textbook, don't you salute him? Do you salute him or just do a double salute? 1, 2? Okay. But there's a respect after a book has been written. And I'm going to give you some techniques to do this very simply and quickly. A lot has changed in the publishing world. I'm going to show you what it did for me. Any Bruce Lee fans in the house?
Yeah, Kim! Yeah! All right, very macho. Love Bruce Lee. Love Bruce Lee. Best movie in the martial arts film ever, Enter the Dragon. Yes or absolutely? Yeah! All right, loving it. Remember this scene in Enter the Dragon? He's kicking the bottle out of Bob Wall's hand. Bob Wall, right here, was my instructor. He was partners with a man named Chuck Norris. Everybody remember Chuck Norris? The guy eats nails for breakfast. Tough guy. Sorry, ladies, it's macho time. All right, so Bob Wall was my instructor when I was a boy. I've been a martial artist myself since the age of 10. He didn't remember me. I made an appointment with his office because I was on the speaking tour, and I named my system because of my dedication to martial arts for the years, called Black Belt Direct Marketing. I wanted his endorsement. So I went to his office after calling for 2 weeks and came in, and he was quite abrupt. The guy is super macho, still at 75 years old now, would still kick most people's butt on the street. Just a tough as nails guy. And he did 4 movies with Bruce Lee, and I was intimidated because of the badges that were on his wall. I walked in, he was on the cover of 24 Black Belt magazines. 24 covers. So I walked in, sat down, and he said, just sit right there. Didn't look up, kept working. I pulled out my book, hand autographed it right there in blue ink, very important, signed it, handed it over, and I said, Mr. Wall, I want to present you my book. All of a sudden he looked up. You've written a book? Yes, I have. It's published by John Wiley and Sons. He said, wow. He put his food down because he was eating and doing multitasking at the same time, looked at me and said, I want to write a book. Tell me about it. Instant respect because I was published. Who's thinking twice about writing a book now? Couple people, I'm going to have all your hands by the time we're done. I promise. Because what happened out of having this 15-minute appointment went 3 hours. Him picking my brain, asking me all the questions about publishing, what my story was. And I said, by the way, I was one of your students years ago before you sold the school. He didn't remember me. I was a kid with a lot of hair. I look different today. So, he has a device, this is me, called a Stretch Master. I still have a pretty good stretch. And he asked me, can you stretch? I said, yes. He said, prove it to me. So I got down and I kicked off my shoes, got down on the device, and got down in a full split. Impressive for a man in his late 40s, yes? Still pretty good. And then that led to meeting this man in the middle named Wesley Snipes. Anybody seen him in movies? Okay, he's an American movie star that's done all these blood-sucking things, vampire movies, and he's been all sorts of... He's very well known in the U.S. Wesley Snipes. Now, out of that, I was invited, because I had a good stretch, to do an infomercial with Wesley, which got shown all over the English-speaking world. Why? It all started with me having a book. A book. Podcasts can turn into a book. Have them transcribed, and you have a series of podcasts that become the best collection of your podcast. Instant book. Who blogs? Anybody blog? Anybody blog? Either in English or Urdu. Blogging is also a way to take your podcast, transcribe them, you've got an instant blog. Why do you need a blog? Gets you more traffic to your sites. And we're in this web world, either we're on formal websites or we have Mobile websites today. Everything's turning mobile. Most people have a phone in the room. Is there anybody that doesn't have a phone? I highly doubt it. But smartphones are on the way. More and more people are getting them, and you're going to need to do this because blogs are even read on smartphones today. It increases your credibility. Trust equals client loyalty if you're staying in touch with people. And it's a new revenue stream. Now, if you have a blog and people are following you, you have a blog and you have a podcast reaching the Pakistanis in the UK and the United States, do you have a right to make money off the traffic? Do you have a right to make money based on your efforts? Yes, absolutely. So you put ads on your site, and there's something that Google gives you called AdSense. They're those little ads that are right there, they'll place for you, and they pay well. And I don't know about you, but I love to make money while I'm sleeping. Love it. You know why I start every day with a smile? Because I got money in the bank. When I wake up, first thing I do, I don't check Facebook. I go to my PayPal account. Now I'm aware that you don't have PayPal here, but there should be something called PackyPal. Who's going to take that initiative and start PackyPal, which is an online way to collect money from people as a gateway? I would look into it, since you don't have PayPal. But I make money every day based on clicks on those ads. Here's an example of what happened. This lady blogged, and she was a client in Australia. She's an at-home mom. And she went from, in just 9 months of blogging 1 day per week, about 200 words, went from getting 800 referrals a month to 2,400 a month by taking 15 minutes a week. There is money to be made blogging. Articles. If you write articles in certain publications, you create and build credibility. It improves your organic listings with search engine optimization. Anybody know what SEO is? Anyone understand it? It's like when you go and click, you put in keywords in Google, where you get listed outside of the ads. And it increases your celebrity status when you have articles out there. Because if someone looks your name up in Google, they can find out a lot about you. Yes? Pretty much, it becomes a verb now. Google, let's Google them. Let's Google her. You can find out a lot of information about somebody very quickly just by Googling that person. And if you have articles out there about yourself, you become credible. It's just how people will judge it. And this opens doors to other media. Anybody have aspirations to get on television? Anybody? 2, 3 honest people. One man in the back with a nice beard. It's closely trimmed. I can see it from here. Excellent. Keep it up, bud. That'll look good on TV. All right? If you have a podcast, you have been able to show that you've been able to overcome fear of speaking. Because that is man's number one fear. Is there anybody that would love to do what I do, but they're afraid of it? They're afraid of it. That's an honest man. Guess what happened? The first time I went on Home Shopping Network, I went in the bathroom and threw up because I was so nervous. True story. And I went and sucked it up and went out and did it. Why did I do it? Because it made money and I knew the mechanism, because speaking was the fastest way to become credible. I was scared and physically proved it. But it opens up all sorts of other media. It starts to roll one after the other. And it creates awareness for you. So if you have articles written about your Pakistani site of textiles, for example, in different article directories, and I'll give you some resources to do this for any of you who are interested. Anybody interested in growing their business potentially while they're at school so they walk out of here making money? Just a few people? Everybody else has got so much money they don't care. That's interesting. The people in the back of the room that are talking are missing it all. Causes visitors to want to come back, creates content for ebooks and for white papers. Here's the other thing. If you write content in articles, it's easy to create a book. Because if you have 20 articles of 1,000 words out there, what is that? 20,000 words. You've got a small book ready to be published. Everybody familiar with Amazon? Amazon.com? You've heard of Kindle publishing? Easy way to get a book published. Write 20 articles of 1,000 words. Bingo, you got a book. See, put it together, a little bit of editing, you've got a book. Instant credibility in your category. And guess who are the people that are going to buy it from you? The people that are listening to your podcast, or participating in your blog, or watching your YouTube videos. Those are the people that are interested in you and will buy from you and support you in your success. There's another way. There's services. Just look up free press releases in Google and you'll find all sorts of ways to grow your business. And it equals money. And it builds lists of targeted prospects. People that will click on your interest, on your podcast, and want to subscribe to your channel will give you money. I have over 300 websites making money because I utilize all these techniques. And if you do some search engine optimization, equals more money, and that's what I'm showing you, techniques to make dollars. And who's been on Google News? Or has read articles from Google News or Yahoo News? Anybody use Yahoo here? One person? Two people? We've got a few. The hands are going up in the back. Excellent. And this news that is sent out of the press releases that are free, mind you, isn't that a great word, free? Who likes expensive? Free? Better? Free is good. Free press releases equals money. Okay, principle number 4. Who likes to be around whiners and complainers? Whiners and complainers. Well, the whiners and the complainers are the ones at the back of the room talking. Okay, I'm taking a leap here, but they're missing they're missing it. The ones that are going to make the money are listening to the person that's made the money and has walked the path to success. They're missing out. It's not only disrespectful, but they're missing out. Surround yourself with the people that are sitting next to you in your success and are growing along with your growth. And if has anybody heard the expression, birds of a feather flock together? Winners hang out with winners. Hang out with winners. People that want to succeed and get better, instead of wasting time at the back of the room standing there, doing nothing. Take a risk. Do something different than what everybody else has done. Who thinks this is Photoshop? You do. You think it's Photoshop. I'll have to show you a video later to prove to you. Not Photoshop, real crocodile in Thailand. And I think I had 3 cups of coffee because my head jerk was very fast to get away from the crocodile. And at the same time, I was hired as a spokesperson for a software company, and the only place in the world where I'd have access to wild, exotic animals was in Thailand. Why? They have no lawyers. There are too many lawyers in the US or in the UK or Australia that wouldn't allow anyone to get close to these animals because they're dangerous. Very dangerous. And what happened right here, you see my smile when I'm petting the tiger? Right after that, he got irritated. He turned around and growled at me. Who'd be scared? Who would be scared? My pants needed to be changed. It was really bad because Tigger didn't like to be petted on his rump by me or anyone, but the good news was he had been fed before I pet him. He was not hungry, he was just an irritable kitty. So take a risk. Do something different that you haven't done so you can make money and improve your lives. Who would like to learn for free how I have made money A through Z? Anybody? Anybody interested in learning? I will charge you nothing. It is my way of giving back. Mr. Rayhan Awala, who you'll hear from in a little bit, has been so gracious to invite me here. It's my way of being able to give back. So here's what you need to do. I'm going to mentor a group of people. It'll take about 4 months to go through this part-time. You're going to learn a lot. So when you walk out of here, real money-making skills will be extracted. So this is what you got to do. You're going to need to write this down. You can get the presentation later, but you've got to jump through a very small hoop. Is this too much to ask? Go to my page, like it, and click on it, and then I'm going to send you an application because I want the serious people that I'm going to teach and take under my wing. Is that okay? Who wants to make money and join me? And if I could show you what I've learned in 30 years. There is no gun to your head like I had experienced 30 years ago. This is volunteer. If you want to learn, I'm willing to show you. This is the step you got to go through. Who's going to jump on board? Who's interested? Why aren't you interested, sir? Yeah, you. Okay, raise the hand. Now, you don't have to. This is constricted. You just got to ask for the application. I'll send it to you. There are going to be about 20 questions, what you want to do at the end of the program, and I'll help guide you. It's my way of giving back. God has been good to me, rescued me when I was in the what do you call it, quicksand, which is what I thought. Heard of quicksand? Sinking fast, gun to my head. I have been blessed. I have been blessed. I'm 52, survived. I've made a little bit of money, and I still make money every day. Oh, I love it when I wake up and there's more money in my bank account. And I will show you what I have done. Fair? Anybody have any questions? Like to ask me questions? Take a photo. I love photos. I got a big grill of teeth. I like to smile. Any questions? Come on up, ma'am. Come on up. I don't bite. The crocodile bites, not me. Go ahead, ask the question.
For you, sir.
So everybody can hear.
I am a student of Indus University in Fashion and Textile Designing.
Okay.
Sir, one question for you. Any suggestion of Pakistani economy increase and improvement?
Okay.
Your opinion.
What was the question?
What your opinion in increasing increase in Pakistani economy?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Help me, I didn't quite understand.
She's trying to ask that, do you have any suggestion of improving the Pakistani economy or something like that?
Yes, great question. Yes, great question. Give this lady a round of applause. Thank you. Here's exactly what you can do to improve. Decrease the fear that the Western world has from you. Everybody, Facebook fan page, add me. On my personal page, Mitch Carson, add me. Reach out to people that you normally wouldn't reach out to and friend them. Be friends with Israelis. I'm not swearing at you. This is what will bring down the borders. We can do this today with social media, can't we? And I think if you create awareness that Pakistan, and I'm doing my part because I'm telling everybody how great my time has been here and how wonderful the Pakistani people have been. And this is my friend Rayhan, who you're going to hear from in a few short moments. In one breakfast when we were speaking together in Bahrain, was able to eradicate all of my former fears and beliefs about Pakistan and Islam. In an hour-and-a-half breakfast, they were completely destroyed from what the media had done to me for years, I allowed to do for me. Oh my gosh, they're going to get me. I'm scared. I'm not scared anymore. Everybody's been nice here. You've been a great crowd, except for the talkers in the back of the room. But it's been great. And to reduce that fear, I think, is step one. Because you guys have tremendous natural resources. The textiles, the leather, the dairy, all these different elements that you could offer the Western world to export are huge. But it starts with changing the emotion and the mentality of the Westerners. Tourism needs to kick up here. People start coming and seeing what you folks have to offer, and they are a bunch of smiling faces and human beings just like the rest of us. I think that'll start the change. And let's start it right now. Is that good? Anybody else have any questions before Mr. Rehan comes on stage? Any questions? You can ask one. Don't be afraid. Again, I do not bite.